So I'm just going to try and keep track of this for myself, and then maybe even share it, for other people who might be going through it. I cut the tip of my middle finger right at that first joint uh, Sunday, about a week and a half ago. It's Tuesday now. So cut the tendon, had it stitched up, and then I had surgery on Friday. So this is post-op day 4, basically. And you can see the amount of bandage that I have. There's some fiberglass in here at about that 90-degree angle just to keep me from fully extending the fingers. I can feel that I've got the movement in that fingertip again, which I didn't have before. I had a pain level at the worst of about a 2 out of 10, which wasn't bad. Got by with Aleve and Tylenol, every couple of hours, and actually just took it the first day or two every couple of hours just to make sure that I, stayed ahead of it and didn't get the pain. So I'm going for my first physical therapy appointment this afternoon at 2:30. It's about 11:30 now. So this should all get taken down, and I should still have a splint that keeps me from fully extending my fingers. And then hopefully they'll give me some exercises today. And then I have a follow-up in another 6 or 7 days at the surgeon's office to get probably some of the stitches out, and then just follow up to see how it's healing. So I'm going to, as I go through it, just kind of document how everything looks and my progress. So we'll see what happens. All right, so back from the first physical therapy visit today, I got my splint made. The affected finger, which is my middle finger, had a really funky zigzag cut down it, which is where they opened everything up and reconnected. It goes from about here all the way out to the tip of the finger. There's a bandage on this one because they explored a little bit to see if that was cut, and it wasn't. So right now I'm in this for the next couple of weeks. What I'm able to do is every hour I can take the fingers like this, passively bend them down, hold them to my palm for a count of 10. And I can do that several times. They want me to do that every hour while I'm awake. And then what I can do is put my other hand here like this and bend them down, touch my ring finger, count to 3, and then extend them back up. Slowly bend them down, touch my ring finger, and then extend them back up. Now it's a little bit sore, but I'd say maybe a 1 out of 10 in a pain, from a pain perspective. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And I've got another appointment. Today's Tuesday. I've got another appointment on Friday, and I'm going twice a week for the next several weeks. So I'll keep you posted, but so far so good. All right, so post-op day 10, it is October 4th. And you can see I've got my stitches out. I've got some steri strips around there, which are, I can already tell, not going to stay very well. Went in today. One of the stitches was around the nerves. When they pulled it out, it really got my attention. But other than that, it feels really good. I've got no pain in it, just some stiffness. And actually, the surgeon was in there. I was seen by the PA, but the surgeon was in there as well. So he asked me to, to do my exercises, show him everything. He asked me to pin the finger and then move the fingertip just to show that I had that, that capability. And then he said, "That's great, and slow it down now," after he asked me to do it. So I took that as a good sign. So now I can continue to do my exercise, continue to go to PT, Not going to be able to get it submerged until probably another week or two. But I can certainly take the splint off, keep my hand in this position, wash it with some, mild soap and water, and just make sure, that I monitor the suture lines and, make sure it's healing, not draining, don't get a temp, don't get redness, swelling, discharge, anything like that. So all in all, really excited so far with how it's going. The mobility is good, and just gonna stay the course and see what they tell me. Thus far, really, really excited with how well it's going. Thanks. Okay, so post-op day 18 today. You can see that it's healing up pretty nicely. Most of the dead tissue is off, and all the area along the incision is closely knitted together. So I'm starting to do some massage now with cream, just keep the scar tissue from accumulating. And then I've been doing my exercises as well. So now I'm at the point where I can get down, pretty solidly to touch my palm, not going any further than that. And I've been doing exercises out of the splint where basically doing extensions like this and then bringing the wrist back. So it's either fingers are in when the wrist is extended like this, or fingers are extended as the wrist is flexed. So it's not putting any, undue pressure on that tendon. But you're still getting some degree of glide on the tendon. So really happy at this point. The incision looked nasty for a bit there, and it's really starting to heal up nice. Pretty happy with the range of motion that I have. Still several weeks away from doing any strengthening exercises, but I feel like we're making steady progress every day. It's a little bit less stiff in the morning. Usually when I first wake up, even without any passive range of motion, I'm getting to about here before it feels tight. And then once I do all of my stretches where I'm passively pulling the fingers in and stretching, then that, opens up considerably once I do that a few times in the morning. Swelling's been better. It's a little bit bigger than the other hand, but not exceedingly so. So far, pretty good. Keep you posted. Hey, everybody. So post-op day 21 today, so 3 weeks from surgery. Here's what the hand looks like, and it's this finger here. So it's coming along pretty good. I just had a little bit of this wrap around it, so that's why you have just a little bit of that look. But if I leave it for a few minutes, it actually looks like the other fingers, and you can see that area where the sutures were is healing really, really nicely. So went to PT today, had the usual, massage and some basic exercise, but they added in a few things, so it was kind of cool. The first, and I'll show you here, is working with a towel. I was able to, using my fingertips, push the towel forward and then bunch it up, keeping that curve in my finger, not putting my finger out straight. So just push it forward and then bunch it back up. The other thing that they had me do was they put a plastic container, like a Tupperware container, and then put roughly 1-inch square foam blocks. And with each finger, I would pick up the blocks and put them into the Tupperware and then dump them back out and do it again. And then the last thing that they did was a very passive gripping exercise. So they had 3 different foam rollers, and one was a block of wood. And basically they just had me close my fingers gently around the item and then open it back up 20 times each. So I started with a larger one, which was pretty much the size of this small drinking glass, maybe an inch and a half across. Then went to one that was a little bit smaller, kind of like this little bottle of medicine. And then went down to one which was about an inch or a little bit less in diameter. And again, not gripping tightly, but just very slowly 20 times opening and closing the fingers. And then I did the usual exercises I've been doing, like this, over the foam ramp. So you get some of that glide on the tendon without really stressing the repair. And then the usual in the brace, doing your movements similar to what I did with the grip. So 3 weeks out, pretty happy with the progress so far. Not much pain at all. It's a little bit tight in the mornings, but even that's getting better as the day progresses. And actually being able to do a couple of little exercises at PT today felt really good. So I will keep you all posted. So far, so good. And the physical therapist said everything looks great. And don't do anything stupid was the professional guidance that I got. So we're at that 3 to 4 week period where his biggest concern was scar tissue development. And right now it doesn't look like we're dealing with much of that on the affected finger. It seems like I've still got some pretty good range of motion, and I'm able to do those simple exercises now. So I'll certainly keep you updated, and thanks for coming along for the journey. So almost post-op day 28, so 4 weeks tomorrow. I can straighten the finger about this much, and I made a little mark on my palm to where I can get it when I work to make a fist. So pretty happy with the straightness of it. And then I'm gonna have to keep working on this. I've been doing the scar tissue massage, and this is with the compression wrap, only off for a little bit. So it still looks a little bit like reptilian with the, different marks from that compression bandage. But overall healing really well. Happy with that. Certainly, I want to get it back into a deeper fist. But for 4 weeks post-op, I couldn't be happier with the results. So just an update. Thanks. All right, so 4 weeks post-op today to the day. This is how it's looking. And I've got the ability to put it pretty much straight. And if I bring it down, I can get it into here by itself. If I put the other fingers next to it, I can get it a little bit higher. But really happy with those results. And I've been doing a lot of massage on the scar tissue. So you'll find that there are hard little points, particularly where they did the sutures, and then right down the middle underneath where the tendon was. So I was doing the scar tissue massage and really breaking down those hard points, and then realized that I actually had this little portable massager that I had gotten a while back. I hurt my leg and was using this to break up, scar tissue in a muscle as it was repairing itself. So I started actually using that and just putting it like this on my lap and letting it work over all those areas. So I work the whole finger, and then I'll pay particular attention to wherever there's a hardened area, and with the machine on, actually just rest it on there, and it's really making a significant difference in where those tough areas were. So I'm sure it's going to continue to develop some scar tissue, but for right now I'm finding that that's making a big difference. Still got some numbness along the outside here. The tip's better, and then the interior side here I have full feeling. So not terrible, but just a little bit like you're like if you cut off the blood supply for a little bit and your finger was falling asleep and you're starting to get that sensation back into it. So that should go away over time as well, but I couldn't be happier so far with the results. And like I said, that's 4 weeks out. They tell me in another 2 weeks I can probably take the splint off all the time, and then we'll start some strength training. So for right now, I'm still picking up the foam blocks at physical therapy, one by one with each finger. I'm still scrunching up the towel a little bit like this and then pushing it back away. And then I've got different cylinders of varying thickness where I'm closing and opening my hand around them to bring it, slowly a little bit tighter. So right now I'm bringing my fingers like this, but I'm not by any means putting any pressure on it. It's just a very gentle close. I'm not tightening that fist, making a tight fist at all. It's just very gentle to see what range of motion I can get. All right, so 5.5 weeks from surgery today. Had physical therapy earlier. Pretty happy with how it's going. Starting to slow down a little bit now, so I'm just taking that compression wrap off. Here's what it looks like if I leave that wrap off for a long time. It'll get puffier, but we're starting to do some exercise. I got pretty good straightness here, and I can get it down to here. So what I'd like to be able to do, is get above that fatty pad right there, and I'm getting it just to about that point. I'm just not getting as much. If I really pull the other fingers in, you can see there's a little bit of a lag on that last finger, but it's really about maybe 1/4 inch or less than where I want it to be. So we're starting to do some exercises now where I isolate that fingertip and just do some exercises this way, stretching it that way. And then I isolate the base and try and curl those over and bring it down. You can see it doesn't follow as far as the others. It gets to about there. So that's just a little bit frustrating, but all in all, to be 5.5 weeks out and have that, which is pretty much a full fist and pretty good straightness. And don't pay attention to this finger because that's mashed from when I was in high school. But overall, pretty happy. He says got a couple more weeks, with the scar tissue where it'll still be, pushing fluid, pushing blood cells in, trying to repair the area. And then when these suture areas go from being a little bit more reddish to being whitish, they'll be kind of settling in, that tissue will be settling in and finalizing what type of tissue it's going to be. But to get that last little bit of movement out of the tip here, I have to work those other exercises and keep massaging the scar tissue, to keep it soft through the finger. So overall pretty good. Again, can't really complain. Not doing anything strength training wise, but we'll be able to start that probably in another week. So keep you updated. Thanks. So it's Wednesday now. It's going to be 6 weeks on Friday. So just wanted to share, I've been doing those additional exercises where I block the finger and bring the fingertip down and then block the lower knuckles and bend from there down. So we're really isolating the finger. So you can see it's, like I said, relatively straight now compared. Don't pay attention to that, the pinky that's been messed up for a while. And then pretty big milestone, I've been trying to get the finger up above that fat pad right here on the thumb. So to get it like this. And today I've got it in that area. So even if I push down, it sticks, up against that fat pad. So it's up above it now. Now you can see it's not quite as tight as the others, but maybe off by like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. So really happy about that progress. So just figured I'd share. See what happens. I'm back for physical therapy on Friday, right at the 6-week mark. So I will keep you posted. All right, so I'm at 6.5 weeks. Last week I got the splint off, and last night and then today I've been going without the compression wrap on the fingers. So you can see it's a little bit swollen today, but it's not getting any worse than that. And I've got, good range of motion here, out pretty straight. Still doing the scar tissue massage. Now in therapy, I started to work with the TheraBand bars. So they're different colored, different thickness and different resistance. So I'm actually bending the bars down like this. I'm grabbing them on the ends and bending them up like that. I'm grabbing them at the top and the bottom and twisting out. And I'm grabbing them at the top and the bottom and twisting in. So I'm working on that grip strength a little bit and, getting the strength back into forearms and in through the fingers. Now, as far as lifting anything, if I'm lifting across the middle of the hand, I'm fine with picking up almost anything. But anything that's out toward the fingertips, they've told me not to go with anything heavier than 3 pounds. So like a full coffee mug type of situation. So we're going to start the strengthening, I think, at the fingertip level this week a little bit more. And I'll certainly keep you posted. But no pain whatsoever. Every day it gets a little bit easier to get warmed up in the morning. So when I first get up, I can probably get to about here. I can't get into the hand right away. But once I do, just a little bit of that stretching and some of my glide exercises like that, then within just a few minutes, I'm right back into making a pretty good fist. So excited with the recovery. Again, it's long, like they say it is. The gradual increments of getting better and getting stronger that you have every day are just that. They're really gradual. It can get frustrating, but really ecstatic overall. I think it's going really well. Thanks. All right, so it was 8 weeks from surgery on Friday, and now it's Sunday. Here's how everything is looking. I'm at the point now where still using a compression bandage just on this joint. This stopped swelling. There's no problem up here. But if I do leave it off, this will puff up a little bit and then it affects mobility. But I've got the finger completely straight now. Again, don't worry about that one. And then I can get all the way right into here with it. Now, if I catch it with the others and pull it, I get another maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, but just working by itself, I get it right there. So you can see it's just a little bit less than the others. I've started doing a lot of different strengthening exercises. I actually got the TheraBar, so I can do these. I do these twists, do them like this, do them like that, twisting on and off a bottle top, those types of things, or a jar top. I've started to use a gripper at physical therapy, so I've got, some like this I ordered online. They come in light, medium, and strong, extra strong. I haven't gotten there yet, but I can work on these, working on grip strength. Been doing that at physical therapy. Actually got me set up last week where I was doing the one-arm rows on the cable machine with a good amount of weight. So at this point, anything in here, I'm good. If it's out on the fingertip, he's told me don't go more than, full cup of coffee, that type of thing, like a 3 pound, 4 pound kind of resistance just on the fingertip. But everything seems to be going really well. Getting that strength back is going to be important. I do still notice, though, if I go to grip things that are smaller, like a pencil or just a little bit thicker than a pencil, I'll see if I can do it on this battery. You'll see I get pretty good closure, but it just doesn't come all the way down tight like that around the battery. But that's that last little bit, probably some scar tissue impeding it. But with a full grip or even like this, I can't pull that out. I can make it super, super tight. So it's really about increasing grip strength at this point. The other thing I've been doing is taking different thickness of wood, diameters of wood, I should say, and there's a foam block, and then pressing them down into it and holding a tight fist. And then also making a hook like this, pressing down. So I'm working on that grip strength without the thumb and the whole fist involved, just working on that fingertip grip strength. So I think the combination of that range of motion with the grip strength all the way down to at least this joint, and then, as much as I can curl around this, maybe on a thicker diameter, I'll get better, like a hammer or or something like that. But on something small like a pencil, I might not ever get that full curve around, right? I'll always have like that little opening there that might not connect. But really, really excited. It is a slow process where you see marginal improvement each day, and it can get frustrating. I was fooling around with the physical therapist. I said it's kind of a glacial movement, glacial progression, and he said it's not quite glacial, but I know how you feel. So I hope this is helping everybody out there who's going through it. Just stick with it. Do the exercises. Most importantly, do the rest when you're supposed to rest, and build back, as it's appropriate from the doctor and from the physical therapist. And hopefully you'll do, just as well or better than I'm doing. Thanks. Sorry, I forgot to mention the one thing I'm also doing at week 8 is I've got putty now, therapy putty, hand therapy putty. So I'm working on driving those fingers down into the putty and working on the grip. And I'm also making a wad of the putty and using the fingertips only to just dig in as deep as I can and then to draw down. So hopefully I'll break through a little bit more of that scar tissue and pull that tendon through. So just wanted to add that, and the putty's been extremely helpful. The great thing with that is you can kind of just keep it with you. If you're watching TV, you can do your exercises or, going for a walk or something like that. So really, really helpful. So just giving you the 10-week update, 10 weeks post-surgery today. Feeling pretty good. The finger looks good. I've had the wrap on a little bit still, just because it gets a little bit swollen during the day. He said that should probably last for another month or two. Was at physical therapy the other day, and he told me at this point we could probably even stop physical therapy. We're going down to once a week for the next 2 weeks. But he said at any point, if I feel like I'm not, I don't need to come back in, it's fine. I'm doing a lot of work with the putty where I'm, crunching it like this, and then also rolling it and then pinching it, trying to get that last little bit of scar tissue to release. So you can see I'm getting it to about there. Be nice if I get a little bit further up. It's just a little bit behind the other fingers if you look. But all in all, not bad at all. And been working on the gripper, been actually doing cable rows and things like that. So at this point, still can't put a ton of pressure right on the tip, but if I'm working with the gripper, I'm doing that. I've got, I think I might have showed you last time, a couple of these in different strengths, so I can actually get on and, work that even at the fingertip. So the strength's coming back. Still doing the scar tissue massage. He said it'll help to do, keep doing that for the next couple of months. And that probably about the 6-month mark, it'll feel good. At this point, I'm getting to the point where I'm forgetting about it here and there. Like if I'm doing something around the house, I go to pick something up or, go to do something, I'm not even thinking about it. The strength is there. I'm not concerned about hurting it. I'm obviously not doing any climbing or anything like that with just the fingertip, but really good outcome so far. And I think it'll just get a little bit better from here. So you can see it comes in just a little bit shy of the other fingers if I pull them all the way up. But you're talking maybe a 1/4 of an inch. So not terrible. Hope this helps. Well, today's the day, December 17th, 2021. It's post-op 12 weeks today. So this will be probably the last entry in this video. Just wanted to share with you when I first had the injury. The surgeon told me about 12 weeks you'd be back to, full function. For the most part, you'd be able to do all your normal activities. At this point, they told me still nothing that stresses just the fingertip itself, like rock climbing or something like that. But I'm back in the gym. I'm back shooting archery. I'm back doing all of my, daily activities, carrying things, doing, everything. And in a large measure, I've forgotten really that I have the injury. Everything's working well at this point. So last week I ended physical therapy. I have good range of motion. I've got 85% of the grip strength in the right hand as I do in my left hand as a comparison. So they were shooting for about 75%. And it's amazing when you're doing all those protective measures for so long and not stressing the hand and not stressing those muscles, how you do lose that strength. But like I said, now I'm back in the gym. The first couple times in the gym, went a little bit slower, went a lot lighter. Now I'm getting back into, where I was before. In some instances, if I'm grabbing the barbell, there might be a tiny space between the tip of my finger and the barbell, but the grip across the rest of the finger is really solid. And I couldn't be happier with the results. I mean, you can see I've got nice range of motion. Still do get a little bit of swelling in the middle of the finger, but like I said, that can last a couple more months. And they actually said normally it's about 6 months before you're fully back where it feels 100%. You're not even thinking about it anymore. So I've got another 3 months to go. But the 12 weeks, like anything else, in some regards went quickly. But from a recovery standpoint, when you're very active and you're hampered with what you're able to do, it was a long time. And even some of my fallback plans, if I ever have some downtime where I can't hike or do something else, maybe I'll play guitar or something else. Those were all kiboshed as well. So maybe, a lot more reading, a lot more watching videos or something like that. But I hope that this series kind of helps anybody who's got an injury like this or is helping somebody who has an injury like this know what to expect. Now, my experience might not be, representative for everybody, but when I was looking this up, when I had the injury, there were only a handful of pieces of information out there and videos on what to expect. So I just wanted to put this out there and help everyone. And I hope it did that. And if you're dealing with something like this, good luck. I really wish you the best, and be patient. Work through the program, do the exercises, do the rest initially because you're going to want to push more. But just know that you can't, because 12 weeks is a long time, and anything you do to sabotage this and start that clock back over is not good, because 12 weeks is a long time. I can't imagine 12 plus 4 plus another 8 plus however many, if you injure yourself. So good luck, everybody. Hang in there.